Sports Friday on SVI Media is sponsored by First Bank of Wyoming, your home for totally free checking. Visit gofirstbank.com.
Welcome back into the SVI Media Broadcast Studios. Duke Nance and Dahl Erickson with you today with First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday. Appreciate you joining us today as we cover high school sports across the Cowboy State. And even though it is the first weekend in February, we are talking high school football today. Rosters for the Shrine Bowl were announced earlier this week, and head coach of the South team, that's Coach Mark Lenhardt, is joining us live today with First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday. Hey, Coach, good morning. How are you doing today?
Doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, Mark, and we have talked to you in the past, but this time you come to us as the coach of the South squad for the Shrine Bowl. And what is that? Tell us how that happened and how you choose your coaches and stuff.
You know, it's one of those situations where this is a huge honor. When you get selected to be the head coach, you're usually picked by your peers, and so obviously I was very honored to get the opportunity to do this. This is my second time as the head coach, and so from that point forward, we do everything we can to try and make sure that we pick a coach from each classification. So I picked one of my assistant coaches here, Blaine Christensen, a guy who's going to be running our special teams, and I thought it would be a good opportunity for him to get some practice doing it during the Shrine Bowl. And then I picked one of my old assistants from Torrington, Rob Nicolai, who's the offensive coordinator, and then Jay Rhodes is a friend of mine from Douglas. Those two will run the offense. I typically do the offense, but this year I'm going to do the defense. And, I asked a couple of guys, at the 1A level, Brandon Gifford from Lingle, who's been a good buddy of mine, and then Kagan Wilford, who had a great season at Encampment. So really excited to work with different people, and that's one of the most fun parts of the week is to watch the other guys coach and learn some things from them and see what they do.
Coach, is this your first time head coaching for the Shrine Bowl, or have you been involved in the past either as a head coach or assistant coach? What's your previous experience been with the Shrine Bowl?
I've been lucky to be in this game a lot of times. This is my second time being the head coach, and then I've been an assistant 4 times. So, it's something that I'm very passionate about. I actually was fortunate enough to play in the game as a player back at Cheyenne Central a long time ago. So this game means a lot. I still have some of those same friendships that I've had with the guys I played with in those games, and still stay in touch with them. So I think these guys will realize how special this is, not just now, but as they move forward.
Coach, the big news this week, obviously, for the Shrine Bowl is that rosters have been released. How do you construct the roster? Because there's so many players to pick out, and how do you go about trying to whittle down who you invite to your team?
It's actually a very lengthy process. It's very, very difficult to do, and there's a lot of good players who don't get picked. I think sometimes people don't understand kind of the rules of how it goes. So, for example, I took 5 players from Rock Springs, or our staff, we decided to. That means the most I can take from another team is 4. So we took 4 Douglas players, and therefore that means that we can only have a maximum of 3 from everybody else. If you only take 4 from a team, then you can take 4 from 2 other teams, if that makes any sense to you. So they don't want any more than 12 players coming from 3 different teams. And so, you try and do that. And one thing is everybody's got good running backs. Everybody's got good linebackers. Most people have a receiver or speed kid, but you got to get some linemen, and then in a game, we play college level rules here. So these are 15-minute quarters. So having guys go both ways up front is very difficult to do. So we made a conscious effort to make sure that we took at least 8 linemen, 2 of them which are from Star Valley, who are both very good players with Lucas Chappell and Mason Hutchinson. And so I, very excited to work with those guys. And I know what a good job Coach Young does coaching up those guys every year with their lines. And they run stuff very similar to us, so it just seems like a natural fit. The other part of the process is when you hire staff, you got to think I only have a few days to put an offense and a defense in. So you kind of want to try and get as much carryover as you possibly can. And so we've been fortunate enough to have Brock Biter be our quarterback, along with Bo Bivens from Torrington. And those are 2 kids who obviously know my system from my time in Torrington and as well as here as Rock Springs. So hopefully that should cut down some of the learning curve when we get into practices.
Coach Mark Lenhardt with Rock Springs High School football joining us today, but of course, coach of the South Squad for the Shrine Bowl happening on June 12th. Coach, as I've seen some of the players involved kind of react on social media, one that comes to mind is Trayson Dayton from Cokeville High School. Man, he is stoked to play in this game. He mentioned how he's been going to the game with his dad since he was 7. It's always been his dream to play in this game, and now he has the chance. How do these players find out? Do you get the chance to reach out to them personally and contact them and say, hey, congrats, you're invited to play in the game? And then what's that conversation normally like when it happens?
You know, every staff does it differently. We make the decision that we kind of break it up. I typically leave it so for like our 2A coaches, they will contact the 2A players, or our 1A coach 9-man will contact the 1A 9-man, and then a certain coach will contact the alternate. So we try to break it up, but it's always awesome to see the reactions. I mean, one of my favorites is calling Cade Pugh from Cheyenne East. And I've known his dad, Tracy, forever, and it was just one of those situations where you can just tell the pride that he had in his son to be selected and how appreciative he was. And, it's just the kid, especially the coaches' kids, the ones whose maybe his dads have been a part of this. They grow up with it and they see what a cool experience it is, and they definitely want to be a part of it.
Part of that experience, of course, is the camaraderie of maybe becoming teammates with someone who might have been a rival coming into that week, but also the experience of the Shrine Hospital, the Shriners Hospital as well. And that's kind of been up in the air with COVID and whatnot. But talk about that experience and how that impacts the kids.
Well, first and foremost, that's the reason we're playing the game. I mean, the ability to go and see what some of these kids that go through is it's life-changing, and I think sometimes we all as human beings can kind of get caught up in the selfish nature that we all have and kind of look at our life and be like, well, I wish I had this. And then you go to that hospital and you realize we got it pretty dang good. And so I think that's perspective is always a great thing for young people and all of us. So I always learn something new every time I go. I'm not sure what the rules will be with COVID. I sure hope that we can get a chance to go and be a part of it, because it's most definitely something that's an experience of a lifetime and something that you'll take with you forever. And so, this game it's a wonderful cause, and so excited to be a part of it. And it just never gets old. It's lots of fun.
Coach, what about football fans around the state of Wyoming that maybe don't have a direct connection to this game? How can they get involved and support this game and support the children of Shriners Hospitals and be involved? What can people do?
Well, first off, the game's usually in early June, and it's nice weather. Come to the game. All the proceeds from the game go to the Shriners Hospital. They can also reach out to their local Shrine Club and make a donation. And you can do it in the name of the Shriners football or the Shrine football game. And so there's lots of things people can do to be a part of it, to try and get involved. And like I said, it's just it's a great cause. And when you leave there, you're like, what can I do to help? And that's definitely something that we all probably should try to look at a little bit more in our lives.
You talked about how you've had multiple opportunities to be a part of this experience. How would you say you are tweaking this particular, or you plan to tweak this experience as opposed to maybe a previous time?
Well, last time I was the head coach, we lost, so I would like to win. But I can tell you this much, that when you get 36 of the best football players from each side of the state playing the game, I know it's an all-star game and I know we're playing for a cause, but these are very competitive individuals. And so that's what I try and tell our guys, every time. It's like, look, I want you to have fun. Nobody here is going to get on you during the week. You're not, we got you for a week. We want you to have fun. We want you to enjoy the experience. But do realize that when it comes game time on Saturday, you will be involved as a competitive game as you've ever been as you've ever played in, to be honest with you. And there's no doubt it can get chippy at times, and you get a lot of guys who are super competitive, and it's a lot of fun. It's really cool to watch. It's like taking your best player on each team and matching them up with somebody else, and every single play. So there's a lot of good one-on-one battles that go on out there, and the coaches get competitive, and it's just a great time.
Coach Mark Lenhardt, the South team head coach for the Shrine Bowl game played in Casper on June 12th. Coach, one final question for you. What happens between now and then? Do you have a chance to spend any time with the players to get ready for that big week? What takes place before June?
I think we probably will send out, some base schemes and some things of that nature and put it on paper for them to study. But no, we want them to be able to enjoy the rest of their winter season and then spring sports coming up. And we'll keep in contact with them and enjoy talking to them. But for the most part, we let them do their thing. And then when we get there, we just get to work and try and cram as much stuff in as we can and really just enjoy the experience. And I'm just excited that, I've got a lot of coaches. I think every single one of my coaches that I selected, other than Coach Rhodes, hasn't coached in this game before. And so I'm excited for those guys to be a part of it because it's something that's definitely something you want to do at least once in your career.
That again is Coach Lenhardt with the South Team Shrine Bowl. The game June 12th. You can visit wyoshrinebowl.com for more details. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate all the good work that you do for Wyoming Athletics. Appreciate you guys.
It's all part of First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday. Back after this on SVI Media.